how Brax came into this world. Say hi. Hi. James and Charla probably don't watch this. You probably won't like this video. Okay, let's talk all things birth. So just a warning, I probably will be pretty graphic and TMI with everything. I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to say it how it is. So Braxton was due on the 2nd of September. I went into early labour on the 1st. I had probably my first contraction at about 11. And then I didn't have another one until about 2. And then they sort of started getting regular from 2, but not like super quick. It was like maybe every 10 minutes then. And then Kurt and I decided to do the groceries. So as we got to the shops, I had a contraction, and then as we got back to the car I had another contraction, so it was like perfect timing. But yeah, so then we got home, was just, you know, relaxing, letting my body do its own thing, and by about I think 6 o'clock-ish they sort of started to get more and more regular. I think by then they were about 5 minutes apart. So we called Kurt's mum, she's only around the corner, and we called my mum too, so Kurt's mum got there within like 5-10 minutes, and then my mum dropped everything and came. My brothers had to cook their own dinner, she left dinner half made and came. But yeah, so they came and I don't know if Kurt's gonna need me. But yeah, so they both came and I was just like bouncing and rolling on an exercise ball, and then they got to about 3 minutes apart, and so I was like, alright, they're pretty intense, and I was like, you know, they're intense, but these contractions are like nothing. What are people going on about? Contractions aren't even painful. Like, they're painful at that point, they were like, but they were bearable. So I'm like, I don't know what these people are talking about. Like, contractions are nothing. Like, this is breezy. Like, come on, bring on birth. And then so we went to the hospital at about 8 o'clock, I think we went. And then they put me into the examination room. I got examined and I was about, I think I was about 7 centimeters dilated. So they sent me home. They had like monitors on me checking that his heart rate and stuff are fine and everything was all good, so they sent me back home with some painkillers and said try and get some sleep. So I came home, I tried to sleep, I didn't really get much, but at about 4:30 I was like, okay, these are contractions. It was like, I don't know, I just remember sitting on the edge of the bed like, oh, okay, this does not feel good. And so I woke Kurt up. Kurt's mum had gone home and my mum stayed here in the lounge, so we woke my mum up, we rang his mum and met his mum at the hospital, and then we went to the hospital and I was like in the car like holding on, like being in the car while you're contracting is not fun. It's not fun. We're only like a 10-15 minute drive from the hospital and it was like the longest drive of my life. But yeah, so we got to the hospital and got examined and I was 7 centimeters dilated. Did I say I was 7 before? I was meant to say I was 3 centimeters before, and then when I got back the second time I was 7 centimeters. I hope I didn't say 7 centimeters because that was 3. Anyway, where was I at? Yeah, so we got back to the hospital and they examined me. I was 7 centimeters, so they're like, alright, we'll keep you in. Do you want the bath? And I was like, yes, please. So contracting, waiting for this bath to fill up. It was just bouncing and rolling on an exercise ball. Kurt was like rubbing my back. And then while I was bouncing on this ball, I felt like this wet sensation, and I was like, what is going on? And it was my waters breaking. Like, they hadn't broke until I was just about to get into the bath. So at that point my waters had just broken. About 2 minutes later I was like, oh my god, I need to push. Like, you just, I don't know, you just get this urge that you need to push, and you literally, like, you can't stop it. I was just like, I need to push. Like, guys, I'm going to push. Get me in this water. I need to push. And then a minute later the bath was ready anyway. So I got in the bath, like, I'm on all fours. The whole time in the bath, I had my eyes closed. Maybe like twice I opened my eyes to have a sip of water and chew on some ice. Like, I don't know, I couldn't open my eyes. I was just eyes closed in the moment, breathing, like, just getting through these contractions. Every contraction, you just, it's so weird that your body's like, okay, we need to push, like, let's push. You can't stop it. Like, when I watch these shows and the midwife's like, okay, try not to push, try not to push. I'm like, no, you can't. Like, you can't try not to push. You just have this urge and it just happens. So anyway, in the bath, I was in there for about 2.5 hours, I think, pushing until he was out. So he was born at 6:48. Yeah, so when I was on all fours, like, leaning on the side of the bath, and then I'd push and like, put your hand down, you can feel his head, and I was like, oh, I don't think I want to feel this. And I did, I felt, and it was so slimy and gross. Anyway, so I felt his head and then kept pushing, and I was so tired because I had not slept. Like, I was exhausted, and I was like thinking in my head, oh my god, like, can I do this? Can I push a whole entire baby out being this exhausted? But I did it. Anyway, so I'm pushing, and his head come out, and once his head was out, it was like relief, sigh of relief. So then once his head was out, I then had to turn onto my back, like sitting on my bum, but I had to be careful that I didn't sit on his head. So they had me turn in this weird way so that I wouldn't sit on my son's head. Like, it was just so weird. Anyway, so then I'm sitting on my back and his body just like came out. Like, I don't know, it just felt like it just went whoop. Like, still had to push, like I had to push the shoulders and then push the rest of his body. But that was like a breeze compared to his head, which you'd think it'd be the other way around, like his head would be easy. And had him on my chest, and he was on there for a good like 5 to 10 minutes. They're like, you don't know what you're having, do you? And I was like, no, I don't. And then like, well, we're gonna have a look. So we had a look and we worked out he was a boy, and it was the best moment of my life. I looked up and there's Kurt, my mum, his mum, all crying. In the room I had Kurt, my mum and his mum, but originally I only wanted Kurt, and I was umming and ahhing about my mum because I don't know, I was just like, I don't want anyone to see me, blah blah blah. But literally, like, you don't care, you don't have a care in the world who is looking at you at that point in time. And I'm actually so glad that I had my mum, and I'm actually glad that Kurt's mum sneakily stayed too, because it's just amazing that they got to experience it too. Like, it's the first grandchild on both sides, so I'm so happy they both got to experience it. But yeah, so once he was born and on my chest, I then stood up and got wrapped in like the warmest blankets ever, like heated blankets at the hospital. They were so good. But yeah, so got wrapped in them and on the bed, and then pushed my placenta out. So that was like the weirdest thing ever, pushing the placenta out. So I don't know, you know when you like got a clot in your period, and I don't know, it sort of just felt like that. It was just like plop out. I don't know, it was weird, gross. And then they were like, oh, have you been eating really healthy? Your placenta's so healthy. I'm not a healthy person at all, so I was like stoked to hear that I had a healthy placenta. So that was really, really good. And then Kurt was like so like amazed by it. He's like, wow, it's so big, I didn't think they were that big. But yeah, placenta came out, it was like nothing. I had my newborn baby in my arms and it was just, that's all I could care about at that point in time, so it was a breeze. But placentas are so gross, like don't get me wrong, they're amazing what they do, but they just look so gross, like it's so disgusting. But yeah, so then Braxton like latched on to my boob straight away, and ever since then he has been like a boobie monster. He loves the boob, so that's a good thing. But yes, then the doctor came and examined me and I had a little bit of tearing because I had a couple of stitches, and they were like, oh, do you want some gas for your stitches? I just pushed an 8.5 pound baby out with no painkillers, and now you can ask me if I want gas for a couple of stitches. Nah, I'll be sweet. And it was fine. I just had him in my arms and that's all I could care about, like whatever, don't care. And it was just, it's amazing giving birth, like, anyway, I'll move on to questions. Did it hurt as much as I expected or more? Scale of 1 to 10. Okay, what they say about once you give birth you forget the pain, like, it is true. I could not tell you how painful it was. Like, I cannot put it on a scale of 1 to 10 how painful it was, because a couple of minutes after he was born, it's just in the back of my mind, I cannot remember the pain. Like, I can't put it on a scale. It was just, yeah. Would I do it again for number 2? In a heartbeat. And I think I say that in a heartbeat only because I had such an easy birth. Like, I think if it was a complicated pregnancy, or like if things went wrong during the birth or things went wrong after, maybe I wouldn't have such a confident answer. But with my experience, yes, in a heartbeat, I'd do it again and again and again. Like, it was just amazing. Did it hurt as much as everyone says? Like I said, I completely forgot about the pain. Like, maybe 5 minutes after, I was just like, gone. Like, I don't even, like, I can't even describe to you what contractions felt like. All I remember is like a burning sensation when his head came out, and I remember that his body was like so much easier than his head. But pain wise, like, I don't remember the pain, I just remember how amazing it was. Like, I don't know, I don't know, like, it was painful. Like, I'm not saying it's not painful, but I don't remember it. Like, I don't know. Did it go to plan? I didn't really have a plan. Ideally I wanted a water birth, but I didn't mind if I didn't have it. Like, I was just open-minded about everything. If I couldn't have a water birth, whatever, that's fine, because I know that at Nepean Hospital not all the rooms have baths. So I was fine if I didn't get a room without a bath, fine, whatever, I'll deal with it, I'll jump in the shower, whatever, doesn't matter. And I think that also helped a lot with having such an easy birth, because I was so easygoing and went with the flow, and I said in my head, if something goes wrong and I need to have a cesarean, it's okay as long as I'm healthy and the baby's healthy. Like, that's all I cared about. As long as we were healthy, it doesn't matter what happens. Like, I didn't have a set plan as long as everything was okay. And ideally I wanted to have no drugs, and it went that way. So I didn't even get offered, I didn't have a chance. By the time I was in there, it was all go, go, go. So, did your water break, or did I have to get induced? Yeah, no, my water didn't break until just before I like started pushing, but yeah, I didn't have to get induced, and he was born on his due date, so that was pretty special. What was the recovery like? Not as bad as I thought. I thought recovery was going to be like really painful, and it was just if I did too much, like if I was getting up and down, up and down, up and down, and like walking around too much, then it's like I started to get like throbbing and whatnot, but it wasn't like painful, like, I don't know, it's hard to describe, like, you have to go through it to know what it's like. I don't know, it's just different kind of pains, I don't know. How did Kurt cope with labour? Kurt was amazing. I was like so nervous that he wasn't going to cope with it, and I don't know, he was amazing, and I'm so thankful that I had him, because I don't think I could have done it without him. He was just there when I needed him and not there when I didn't need him. It was, I don't know, he did so good, and I was not expecting it, so I'm really grateful. Was I scared? Yes and no. I was scared that I wasn't going to be able to do it. I was scared that it was going to be too painful, but I wasn't scared of it, if that makes sense. Like, I wasn't scared to give birth, I was just scared of not being able to do it. I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I was scared to be in too much pain and not want to do it, but I wasn't scared of actually doing it. I don't know, like, yeah. Anyway, next question. How long did I push for? About 2.5 hours. How long did I bleed for after? So typically you can bleed for up to 6 weeks after. Lucky me, bled for 7 weeks. I know I should be grateful I didn't have my period for 9 months, but man, bleeding for 6 weeks, let alone 7, it's like so annoying, and from about 4 weeks it was like super light, super light. So I'm like, yeah, it's fine, I'm gonna stop bleeding by 6 weeks definitely. Boy, was I wrong. 7 whole weeks. It's just like, it's so annoying, but it's worth it, I guess. What was the first thing I thought about after giving birth? How the hell was that inside me? Having him on me, I was like, you just came out of my stomach and out of me, like, how are you, all of you in me? Like, it's just crazy that us women can do that. Were you worried you weren't going to be able to breastfeed? I don't know if that's in relation to the size of my boobs, but my midwife had actually said to me that she found that women with bigger boobs actually struggled more than women with smaller boobs. So I wasn't exactly worried size-wise if I was going to be able to feed, but I was going to be upset if I couldn't breastfeed. That's something I really wanted to do, and I would be upset if I couldn't. But again, I wasn't set on it. I had in the back of my mind, if I can't do it, I can't do it, but don't beat myself up about it. So yeah. Also about my midwife, I was on caseload. For those of you who don't know what caseload is, I was meant to have the same midwife through my whole pregnancy and then for the delivery as well. But she ended up breaking her wrist and needing surgery when I was about, I don't know, I think I was like 27 weeks or something. So from then on I saw different midwives and had whoever when I was giving birth. But yeah, Kurt said like so many different nurses and doctors were in and out and whatever. I had no idea because I literally had my eyes closed the whole time. So, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it wasn't too blah. I don't think I went too into detail about gross. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and